Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Sherida Sessa, the brand director for Greenbuild. Sherida, how you doing?
I'm great, Ken. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I want to help our listeners navigate. You're doing a virtual Greenbuild this year. Obviously, we all know why. You were scheduled to be in San Diego on November the 3rd to the 6th, and this is a week later. So this is going on from the 10th to the 12th. It's a 3-day show. But before that, let's do a little background. You've actually been in the trade show business for a long time. You were at Reed Expositions for 13 years, right?
I was, yes. Most recently, I managed the portfolio of security events at Reed, and I came to Greenbuild just about 2 years ago. So this is my second Greenbuild.
Okay, and I was in Atlanta last year. It was a good show. I think it attracted a little bit more than 10,000 people. So one more little trade show news, though, we just picked up yesterday. You got a new boss because Rick McConnell was running all of the Informa trade shows. So Nancy Walsh, who comes from where you come from, Reed Exposition, she's taken over and running all the trade shows, right?
She is, yeah. We heard that news yesterday as well. And yep, I've known Nancy for many years. She's a brilliant woman, so we're very excited to be under her leadership.
So I guess the trade show business is in flux. I mean, it's kind of like the hospitality business. This is where people get together, and you've got a virus, so it's going to be almost a total reset, probably, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are hoping to get back to face-to-face events as soon as it's safe to do so, but the whole situation has really forced us to reimagine our business and really key in on the key pillars of it and key ways that you can connect people creatively given everything that's going on. So we're excited to get back to face-to-face, but it certainly will look different for quite some time. So we're lucky to be owned by the largest face-to-face trade show organizer in the country, so we have a lot of great minds working on that, blazing the trail for us.
Well, and you're a pretty smart cookie, too. I see you went to Cornell University. All right, so let's get into Greenbuild again. Is going to be virtual this year. It's November 10th to the 12th. A little bit more history. You know, the USGBC started Greenbuild, I think, all the way back in 2002, and then Hanley Wood bought it in 2013, and then Informa bought Hanley Wood, so you guys are running it now. It's kind of both a trade show, but it's also a whole set of conferences, and that's what we need to try to figure out. Now, if you want to attend this, and there's a fee you pay and get an all-event pass, but tell us, how do you figure out exactly how to navigate these 3 days?
You're absolutely right. There are a ton of things to work your way through and a lot going on a 3-day period. So I think the first thing that's important for the listeners to decide is whether they would like to visit the virtual expo hall and just do that, or if they'd like to attend all of the sessions and the conferences that we have available. That's an important distinction. The virtual expo hall is free, and anyone can register, provided that they're in the industry. So you can do that at greenbuildexpo.com. Now, if you decide to join us for our education sessions, that's where you start to get quite a few options, which is great. We have 3 days of education, and we have tracks that cover quite a few different topics over those 3 days. So we actually have 6 concurrent tracks that run during the event, and they cover topics such as carbon, net zero, health and well-being is a huge one for us, future-looking sessions that really look to predict what we're going to be coming out of this and into, tracks on materials, and then, of course, every year we have a track on USGBC updates, which really keys in on lead and what's coming down the pike with USGBC. So if you go to our website, you're going to want to check out the agenda of those sessions, and right up top there's a little filter funnel-looking button, and that'll allow you to filter by day and by track. So that's really the best way to manage the agenda of all the breakout sessions.
Sherida, there's one thing that I got stuck on, and I want to make sure you help us out here. The URL you want to go to, because there's 2 URLs out there. There's a USGBC one, and then there's this one. So help us out. Tell us where to go. What's the website?
Yeah, no, very good question. The main event website is greenbuildexpo.com. That is the main site for the show, and it's where all of the updates, the speakers, the keynotes, everything that's going on at the event is listed on that website. If you actually click education and then view sessions, you'll be able to scroll through all of the sessions that are offered as part of the event. And on top of those breakout sessions, we have really exciting keynotes scheduled as well. So Christiana Figueres, who is widely known throughout the industry as the architect of the historic Paris Climate Agreement, is kicking off the event for us on Tuesday, November the 10th. She's going to be interviewed by Mahesh, that's USGBC's CEO, and then we'll get into the breakout sessions from there. On Wednesday of the event, we actually have a Starchitect panel featuring 3 brilliant ladies that I had the privilege of having a conversation with just last week. It's Julia Watson, Catherine Huang, and Kachakorn Varekum. And Kachakorn's actually a landscape architect. Catherine and Julia are architects, and they are going to have a really exciting panel for us on Wednesday. They're the keynoters on the second day of the event. On Thursday, we have a really exciting last-minute speaker that we just added last week, a lady by the name of Paula Stone-Williams. Paula is going to speak to us about gender diversity and equity between the genders, so very exciting there as well.
It's a virtual event, and sometimes with these things, if you can't watch it when it's going on, you can come back and watch it later, and I think you got it set up the same way, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. We actually already hosted 3 summits as part of the event, and they are all available on demand, so you can watch them anytime. And then it usually takes us about 24 hours after a session has aired just to edit it a little bit and repost it, but everything will be available after the conference for viewers to access really anytime.
All right. Now, do you have any idea who's going to be showing up and spending those 3 days with you, from a demographic or what the function they do in the business?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the nice thing is that since we're virtual this year, we really have no geographic boundaries to our attendance. So people that couldn't get travel budget before or time away from the office are actually able to join us this year. So we are seeing kind of a wide breadth of attendees, including a higher percentage of folks internationally. So that'll be interesting, especially on our sponsor side. I think it gives our sponsors a much wider reach to a new audience. But as is typical with Greenbuild, we see a large community of architects that join us every year. And then we see quite a few construction, building owners, property managers, that whole group of attendees. We have quite a few engineers that come online, that are going to come online with us. And then, of course, we have a very strong contingent of lead and sustainability consultants that work on various projects throughout the year.
Okay. And any sense, because you do have to pay to get in, any sense of the size? I mean, you had 10,000 people come to Atlanta last year. Any idea how many people you think will participate this year?
We are going to have to look at those numbers right up at the last minute. The nice thing about virtual events is you can register right before a session and pop online. So we are seeing some registration trending a little bit later than it typically does. But I will tell you from our summits that we've run, we ran a Green Business Summit, a Global Health and Wellness Summit, and a Resilience Summit as lead-ups to Greenbuild. And we saw more attendees in those summits than we typically see in person. I certainly think it's possible that we could have a really stellar turnout in a couple of weeks.
And so for the future, are we hoping we're going to be back in person in 21, or what's going on?
I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you that. Okay. We obviously value face-to-face interaction. We love to gather the industry. We're really proud of the product that we've put out virtually, but we certainly want to see people in person, if at all possible, in 2021. Of course, health and safety of our customers and our attendees is our number one priority. So our team here at Informa, more broadly, our operations group and our senior management, we're all very closely watching health trends and the statistics and monitoring what's happening in each state. And we will make a decision on that as soon as it's safe to do so and we have some reliable data to go on. So we'll keep the industry posted. Well,
hopefully it's a fall show. Hopefully we'll be good by next fall. But anyway, thanks so much for spending time with us. Again, been talking to Sherida Sessa, the brand director for Greenbuild, an employee of Informa, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.